WWE superstar Roman Reigns is with us live this morning, fresh off of that huge heavyweight match. Okay, let's first get to how you're feeling this morning. Roman, how sore are you this morning?
I'm beat up. You know, I feel like I've been in a car wreck. Like you said, that was a big heavyweight bout. And I sit at about 275, sometimes 280, and I was the smallest guy in that match. So it felt like I was running into a wall pretty much every time.
We're going to get to your football background in a second, but you played at a high level for several years. Compare the feeling this morning after SummerSlam with the feeling maybe Sunday morning after playing college football.
To be honest, it felt like I played a full game. You know, that was one thing. When I played at Georgia Tech, we didn't always have the depth at D-line, so sometimes I had to play, 60 to 70 snaps, and you get to a certain point where you're just exhausted, you're getting full body cramps. Yeah. And that's the type of physicality that I felt last night. If you look at it, the size of the guys that we had, it's pretty much like running into like a Dallas Cowboys offensive line. So I'm very, although I wasn't able to pick up the win, it's always impressive to be a part of SummerSlam, to be here in Brooklyn, just a part of this full weekly event and us taking over the city, and to be able to go out there and have a great main event and give the crowd, the live crowd and everybody watching at home, such a special show. The energy in the Barclays was unbelievable, and we're really excited to come back next year.
I want to ask you about that energy because that was almost a trending topic in its own right on Twitter last night. Just the pops that you guys got from the entrance on through the match, highlights within the match. When do you know, maybe it's backstage before your match, but when do you know, hey, this is a special crowd now?
In a situation like SummerSlam, when you're sold out and you can hear it throughout the pre-show, and even the earlier matches, but how I really knew is, when I was preparing for my match, I was able to see some of the other Shield guys' match, Seth and Dean against Cesaro and Sheamus, and they were just absolutely tearing it down. And I just knew this crowd is here for fun. They, they paid their hard-earned money, and they're going to come and make the most of it. And that's exactly what they did. Once we got out there, being in the main event, being the last match of the night, sometimes it's hard because they can wear down a little bit, but that was not the case. The old saying that New York is the city that never sleeps, it held true for sure.
And you guys are there once again tonight. You'll wrap up the Brooklyn run with Raw this evening. Let's talk about the Shield guys for a second. It seems like maybe somebody might be missing from that group. Folks who are clamoring for a full-on reunion. To them, you say what?
The main thing for me right now is I've been in that Universal title picture. So that's you can ask Seth or Dean if they were able to be in that same situation. That's what you go for. You want to have that top title, and that's definitely it. But I'm super proud of those guys. They exemplified what made the Shield so special last night, and the teamwork and just that brotherhood of just going out there and getting it done. Not for yourself, but for the next man next to you. Mm-hmm. So it really showed how we came in and why we were so special, and hopefully in the near future maybe. Not only to prolong my career, because it does take it out of you running into those meatballs for 30 minutes at a time, but there's just some kind of magic when the three of us get together and we're just moving on all cylinders, and it's it always seems to be a great time for the crowd.
Magic for you, havoc for everybody else. Let's get to one of the other big stories surrounding the WWE, really over the last week to 10 days now, and that's the health of Hall of Famer Ric Flair, who's on the mend following an emergency operation last week. You talk about that brotherhood just amongst the Shield. What about the brotherhood throughout the WWE, those who came before, those who are there now? What does he mean to you personally as well as the locker room?
Well, for me, I'm a generational superstar. My father, my uncle, multiple cousins, my brother, they were all within the WWE. They all wrestled. And that's one thing that you can kind of tell, even all the way up to the McMahons, that this is a family business, and it runs deep. And even now, Nate has a daughter who's been a great performer and a great champion and spokesperson for the women of WWE and WWE in general. So to see something like this happen, I don't know enough details to share, but all I know is I'm great friends with Rick. I've been on many tours and just hung out with him and spoke with him, and he's just a genuine man, such a good time, eccentric, and such a charismatic person, but just such a kind guy. If you're friends with him, you'll know it. He'll love on you, and I just all my prayers and thoughts are with him, Charlotte, and the rest of their family. I hope for a speedy recovery, and Rick, bring your butt back. We need you on tour. That's coming straight from the big dog right here. Need you back, man.
That is well said. You were, as we said at the beginning of the interview, you had 3 years at Georgia Tech where you were a starter in college football, and obviously the season is right around the corner, just about 10 days from now. Have you given much thought to your championship favorites this season?
To be honest, I was just talking about that this morning. It's tough because with this schedule that we run, we have no off season, so pretty much we're going from Friday to Monday every single week, and then when I jump home, I got brand new babies and a daughter and everything, so I got to go into daddy mode. But anytime I get a chance to sit down, have a meal, and watch a football game, I'll watch it. I don't care who's playing. It could be a high school football. The other day I was watching Florida high school football. But see, now that I'm outside of it so much, I'm a little bit unbiased. I just want to see good football.
All right, well, hopefully for your sake, as a product of that football team, there's good football in Atlanta there with Georgia Tech this season. Thanks for spending part of your sore morning with us. And you come spend time in our yard the next time you're in the Hartford area, all right?
Absolutely, will do. Thank you for having me.
All right, Roman Reigns, we appreciate the time.